Welcome to Whisky.com, where fine spirits meet. My name is Horst Lüning, and this is my son Ben, and today we have the real pleasure to taste the Glendronach 21 years of age.
Yeah, Glendronach 21 years. I had one in my private collection for a long time, but I think you gave it to me at some point, and it was only that much left, but it was a really good whiskey.
Yeah.
It was a
I had that a decade ago, and so it's time to have a resampling of this one. And the difference between the 21-year-old and the 18-year-old is first, or most of that, is not only the age, but the type of cask in which the whiskey matures. Here on the front label, matured in a combination of the finest Oloroso and Pedro Ximénez sherry cask. The Oloroso sherry casks are quite fruity, and the Pedro Ximénez are sweet and fruity.
Yeah, and Glendronach is a very interesting distillery. We can show you the drone footage we took last year. But what I really like about the Glendronach distillery is that they have these very special pot stills. They have normal pot stills. I think they have a, what do you call it, reflux bowl, but the neck is really special. They have a very sharp U-turn at the very top, so there's a very, what do you call it, precise separation of vapors and condensed spirits that flow back to the pot.
We took an infrared video of the still, so we put it in here just now.
Yeah, this is very interesting.
Very interesting how hot these stills are, and I think the temperature is in centigrade. So the one, if you're used to Fahrenheit, just Google is your friend.
Google is your friend.
Yeah. Glendronach was closed, and this whiskey is from the production before the closure, because we're just now 16 years into production again after the closing time. So 16 years of age. The 15-year-old just appeared on the market again, rose in price sharply, and this one will leave the market in a few years. So in the moment it's 110 euros pounds, but it will increase after 2023, 2025, and in between there will be a shortage and prices will rise. So I think this one will rise up to 200.
Yeah,
then
definitely.
It will be gone for 1 or 2 years, and then it will come back again for 150 something.
Yeah, something like that.
So
If you have a discontinuous production, you always have a bit of a price change.
a little bit, yes.
A little
More
bit.
or less.
Depends on how much you think of a little. If you, I wouldn't consider a 50% price increase as a little.
Yeah. So this one has a specialty, not only the different casks, but as well the ABV. So this not only has the 46, which the typical Glendronach 15 and 18 years of age have, this has 48. So just more. And yeah, there's a wonderful sherry note in the... Now you switched over. Yeah. A wonderful sherry note. And this is not just fruity, this is sweet and fruity. So the Pedro Ximénez sherry casks are definitely smellable. And these are ripe, dark, ripe fruit. And, well, spices. Too complex to define which spice. And some, pudding cake note. No, pudding is this meaty thing. It's this fruit cake.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I would definitely say fruitcake. It's a good amount sweeter than the 18-year-old, and you definitely realize it's a bit more, what do you call it, comforting. You don't have that much of a deep fruit note. It's definitely some cherries in there, some berries in there, some grapes in there, but also you might find a plum, some apricots. So it's a bit more fresh, a bit more lovely, a bit more straightforward, and very little emphasis on the spice and oak.
Yeah.
Very little.
So this is in contrast to the 18 years we had just before. So this is definitely sweeter, lovely, mild. So this is the more rested, more comfortable thing.
If you think about Christmas, you already get the association if you then smell the whiskey. Definitely cool.
Now there's the spiciness. As soon as you swallow, you should keep that whiskey for 1 second every year of maturation in your mouth. You're doing that right now. I have a wonderful, sweet, juicy feeling on my tongue. Spiciness is everywhere from the casks. And there is some influence from the cask. I wouldn't say it's bitter, but there is a more intense spiciness in the longer aftertaste. There is some plums. There are plums in it, and some cinnamon. Cinnamon is one of my favorite spices, and this light nuttiness from the casks, the sherry casks, is there as well.
It's nice. Again, you have a very interesting contrast between a fruitiness and the spicy oakiness. Definitely tastes a bit like the European oak, not too much. When you have it in your mouth, it's just wonderfully light, fruity, sherry, a bit of a sweetness, a bit of more sweetness going on. And when you swallow it, you realize, oh my God, this is a whiskey. You have maturity in oak, you have maturity, a bit of a spiciness and grape notes, dark fruit notes, a little bit of nuttiness in there, and just a hint, a smidge of cinnamon. Oh, it's wonderful, deep, complex, intense whiskey. Wow.
And the aftertaste is not that sour or bitter, which you often have with these very old casks. So the aftertaste is really pleasant with a light spiciness. Wow, what I forgot is there are tasting notes on the back. Appearance, dark amber with a sherry wood sheen. Dark amber. A delicate mix of ripe autumnal fruits, notably blackberries and red plums. Rich Oloroso sherry and candied orange segments. Spiced oatmeal biscuits. Yeah, there had been some cereal in it.
What I really like is that with a over-matured sherry whiskey, you sometimes get that fluffy feeling in your mouth, a fluffy feeling on your tongue. Don't have that at all. I really don't like that about the strong sherry ones, but this one is just fresh.
And toasted oak fragrances being excellent weight and balance. Palate, resolute flavors of fine Oloroso sherry and bitter chocolate sauce, which has been spread liberally over homemade plum pudding. So pudding is not only this.
I think there are different kind of pudding.
Puddings, yeah.
You can have the normal pudding, which is like a creamy thing, and you have the Yorkshire pudding, which is like a pancake thing in different shapes. I'm not quite sure.
So, this is all infused with fabulous spicy notes, cinnamon, allspice, and nutmeg. Full-bodied with smooth tannins. Smooth tannins, that's the right word. Finish, tannins. Long and lingering. Everything right. And this whiskey has a second name. It's called the Parliament.
Parliament.
So this is from the crows.
Which is really strange because I've seen The Simpsons, and a bunch of crows is not called a swarm of crows, but actually a murder of crows. I don't think it has anything to do with the murder as in killing, but it's called a murder of crows. What is a parliament of crows?
So the parliament, the crows are sitting in the trees around the distillery. It's in a small hollow, and there are those in winter. You see those black, leafless trees, and in those the crows are sitting. And this is a murder of crows talking to each other like in a parliament. So talking nonsense. Sorry. So this is a parliament of crows.
A parliament of crows. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah. So if you know what a parliament of crows is defined as, write it in the comments. Definitely.
Should I tell the joke?
Oh yeah, tell the joke. Tell the joke about the crows.
There's the CEO of BMW and a higher McKinsey counselor, associate, walking through the factory of BMW, and the CEO of BMW asked the man, "What are you doing here in the company?" And the man from McKinsey said, "Well, you see the tree with the crows?" And all the crows fly away, and the CEO said, "Oh, well, yes, that's it." Yeah. And then they went into the factory, looking at everything, talking, coming out, and all the crows sitting again in the trees. And then the CEO complained, "They're all back." And the McKinsey manager said, "Well, not on the same place."
Not on the same branch, huh?
Yeah. So this is a parliament of crows.
Parliament of crows. Nice, nice. Yeah. So, yeah. Just consider the 20 years of age and the closing of the distillery in 2002. So just make sure that in half a decade you have enough of your Parliament 21-year-old Glendronach, because it might have a bit of a production or supply hiccup. Yeah. But otherwise, I have to say this is an excellent bottle for 110 euros. It's just also an excellent price. So if you see that on the shelf, just look out for it. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next time.